The entire team at Emsolation want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We want to recognise that we are recording and telling our stories on the stolen land of our country's first storytellers. We wish to pay our respects to all Wurundjeri elders and ancestors, and to extend that respect to any First Nations peoples who listen to Emsolation. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples' continued connection to the land and waters of this country, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Always was, always will be.
This is Emsolation.
Hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Rusciano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic brain and a podcaster. And together with my best friend since I was 11, award-winning screenwriter, Mr. Michael Lucas, I bring you this podcast every week. It feels like an age.
It really does, yeah.
In the correct studio presentation.
Yes.
And I've said the title. We haven't had a main amp for a few weeks because I've been working on multiple other projects.
I know. I've got feedback. People think I've gone missing in action or something.
No, you're here. You're here and we have much to discuss. In today's episode, we'll be spending the lion's share of it on the new romantic comedy, although I dispute the comedy part of that genre for this movie, Materialists, starring our favourite Give Zero Fucks actress, Dakota Johnson, the most unbothered person on the face of the planet.
Sleeps 10 hours a night.
Pedro Pascal and Chris Captain America.
That's right. What a trio.
The event around the movie itself was interesting because I was charged with picking up your mother.
Hang on.
No, it's fine. And I take that responsibility very seriously. So we were doing a gold class viewing and you'd said to your mum it's something, a film she'd enjoy. So she was looking forward to it.
Oh, and we spent appropriately for a film called Materialists. It was the most expensive. I spent almost as much on that night as Beyonce. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
I had dinner beforehand. Tickets are $50 a pop for four. And then we spent about $160 of the food in the thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, Joe's got to have a G&T in the movie.
Yeah.
So we did that. We arrived. We got ourselves seated in gold class. Night before Adrian's movie starts shooting.
Unbelievable. Yes, my husband's debut feature is currently shooting. He's heading to set at the moment as we record this. But he, unlike his husband, he loves filming and is quite relaxed about it. So he thought, what else would I do but take in a bit of cinema for inspiration and calming delight on the night before the biggest event of my career thus far.
So much about him compared to us. Can you imagine if it was the night before a
fetal
project
position.
for us that large?
Oh, totally. I wouldn't have slept for the month leading up to it and I would just be trying various forms of medication.
It's true. But no, he was there very calm. We sat down and the Materialists began.
Hey, are you single? I'm a matchmaker. Give me a call if you want to meet somebody.
I deserve someone who fulfills all of my criteria.
Nothing over 20 BMI.
I don't want someone who likes cats.
I'm trying to settle.
I promise you're going to marry the love of your life.
Directed by Celine Song. The story is around Lucy Dakota, who is a very successful matchmaker. She works for Adore, which is a dating service in New York for the wealthy and elite.
Which it almost feels so odd in this day of apps. It felt unbelievable, but indeed they do exist. And Celine Song herself worked in that job, which is why she wrote the movie about it, which is who uses such a service? Apparently some people do.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match.
Love a show tune.
I can't help but sing that song every time I hear the word matchmaker.
Sure.
Fiddler on the Roof.
I believe it may be. When I hear matchmaker, I also think of Mulan. Because remember, she had to go to the matchmaker and then she clutched it up and destroyed the tea set.
I think of Seema from Mumbai.
Oh.
The Indian matchmaker.
Oh, of course. Wow, it's a rich history, isn't it?
I would watch the shit out of a movie
Legacy.
with Seema from Mumbai.
I want to say
and Mandy Patinkin.
Can someone, now getting a vision, didn't Will Smith star in a movie called Hitch? Which was also about, was it about matchmaking? Was he some form of matchmaker?
So Hitch is a smooth-talking man falls for a hardened columnist while helping a shy accountant woo a beautiful heiress.
Okay, good.
Rich history.
Yes. So, yeah, the idea is that there's so many... we found out she's on $80,000 a year, but lives in an apartment in New York. That would cost that probably a month.
Yes, absolutely. Her apartment in the grand tradition. I mean,
The Carrie Bradshaw of it all.
The Carrie Bradshaw of it all. Not to mention that, of course, the love triangle she ends up with had
It's not a
massive
triangle.
Aiden v. Big vibes.
Correct. So Lucy's setting up clients, but she's, of course, single herself by choice. Of
course.
Doesn't want to be in a relationship because we warn you, the next person she hooks up with, she's going to marry.
That's right.
We find this
That's
out.
right. Yes.
She's waiting.
Yeah.
And we then meet ex-boyfriend John.
Yes, played by Chris Evans, struggling actor. If only he could get a break. If only he had something appealing about him.
I'm sorry, but to portray Chris Evans as a struggling actor, they didn't even try to make him look scruffy.
The loser character.
With the impeccably trimmed beard.
Could she settle for someone so sloppy character?
Settling. They're trying to sell us that Chris Evans is settling. I really struggle with that whole notion that he was,
Full respect for the fact that he is our age but was openly
37.
declaring 37. I loved it.
I wanted to scream at this. I was like, ma'am, you are not 37.
The hair dye on him and Pedro was
Out of control.
strong.
The just for men of it all.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chris's hair, it was, they just didn't get it quite right. It was so coiffed.
I know.
And you can tell there was some very stressed gays on set that were constantly having to run in and because he had this one bit, it was like akin to what Chad Michael Murray's got going on Gulliver's Crossing's Travels, Sullivan's Crossing. It was very similar. It was just too fussed.
There was, in contrast,
And too much lip gloss.
Dakota's hair absolutely perfect every single shot.
She's got that
Someone didn't sleep
fringe.
for while she was having a 10-hour sleep every night. There was a gay preparing to get that hair perfect.
I disagree. I think she wakes up like that. I think she is one of the lucky ones because I've watched lots of videos of her, out and about with Chris. I watch Pat videos. Her
Chris
hair,
Martin, you mean?
Yeah, Chris Martin. Her hair is always, I think she's just
So you mean
genetically
in
blessed.
addition to all the other blessings that she was born with in both station in life and
Yes.
genetically, you're saying born with perfect hair?
I suspect so. I really do.
Wow.
I know. But Chris's hair was very distracting. And as I said, the amount of lip gloss, unnecessary. No one's lips are that chapped, sir. I'm sorry. And it was breaking the perimeter.
Oh.
And when a gloss breaks the perimeter on a man, it looks like they've been engaging in other things. So.
That's his brother.
Yes. So we then meet Pedro at a wedding that Dakota's
Let's just say
character's at.
basically Mr. Big.
Correct. And I'm trying
Is
to.
a very heterosexual man.
Yes. And I don't want to say I didn't believe the chemistry between him and Dakota, but I didn't.
Okay, no, but hang on. But this is what I'm divided about, or their relative lack of chemistry, was that deliberate? Because there's a part later in the story where she's like going, we don't love each other. There's nothing here. We're perfect on
Spoiler
paper.
alert.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, keep going. You're right. We're in it now.
Yeah. But I mean, that was stated. So was it meant to be slightly
Meta.
like not that captivating between them?
Land.
Stilted.
So how do you explain the lack of chemistry between Dakota and Chris?
Oh, I thought there was chemistry
did
there.
you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was shipping them, so to speak.
No.
But no, I definitely felt like, that there was a true connection.
I don't think calling it a love triangle is accurate either.
Do you want to know something that's fascinating? So this director, she is married to the guy that wrote Challenges. So she made Past Lives about a love triangle. He made Challenges about a love triangle. Now she's made this about a love triangle. These two are really going hard on the love triangle angle. And also he wrote Queer, which you could also sort of frame as a love triangle. They are obsessed with this topic.
Yes.
What's going on in their marriage?
I don't know, but not making convincing films about love triangles. But with those movies you've mentioned, I feel like with Challenges as well, you don't actually get the payoff of the love triangle. And in this movie, there was no payoff of the love triangle either because it really wasn't a love triangle. What it felt like was an extended version of it was a Sex in the City episode. And I understand all the discourse around it's a great snapshot of what it's like to date in 2025. But again, are people hiring matchmakers? in 2025?
No one I know. I mean, mind you, everyone is on the apps and all of those sort of physical specifications. I remember amongst my heterosexual lady friends, I have been shocked about the absolute frankness about height. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know whether maybe you're in that category. Like the standards that women have for height, it's hard for you to judge because you've been wedged with the same man for ages who's much taller than you.
But I was raised by a short king.
You were raised by a short king.
And we stand a short king.
But the number of women I know, and these are progressive, open-minded women who openly say, oh, I can never be together with someone who's shorter than me. Never. Like, what? I find it wild.
For me, you're right. I've been wedged with the same man for a long time. And when I think about it, my only specification is Viking adjacent.
I love it how you say that like just a minor thing. Just one little detail. I want them to have the girth and power and throwdown of an actual Viking.
Yeah. I will say I did once date a man with a micro penis. I would say that has a significant impact on a relationship.
Okay. How political of you. Very, very restrained.
So, people can have their, I don't know.
No, they can, but I think the thing is they do, and we're living in an era where it's never been more stated because
well,
you literally...
in your community...
I know, yeah, literally. I mean, infamous for all sorts of the pressure on looks and horror, and there's racism that comes into it, which they allude to in this movie, but then weirdly everyone in the movie is pretty much white.
Yes.
But like... I think I was sort of looking at it as a comment on how materialistic we are in every sense in terms of love in this modern world.
There's one scene that I've posted about online, and I will not give too much away, but I was cackling so much in the cinema, and you were not meant to be cackling, and your mum kept looking at me, and just like, and I couldn't. The scene at the kitchen bench.
I think we have to do a spoiler alert and explain what it is because otherwise we won't be able to talk about
it. All right, spoiler alert. Actually, do you know what? It doesn't matter. This film, if you're going to see it, you're not seeing it for the riveting plot twist.
You've probably already figured out how it ends. You really have.
Surely. So I think, yes, there's every time they're in bed together, Dakota and Pedro, she notices there's scars on his legs. Just like here and there, you see a little crescent-shaped scar, and then the next time they're in bed, you notice there's kind of little like they almost look like round,
ridges
circular,
and,
bolt holes, like kind of things. And earlier in the film, her and a colleague had been discussing the lengths some men go to be more appealing. And as you said, height is a massive thing. It's a massive thing for all the women at the dating agency. We want them to be over 6 foot. We want them to be over 6 foot. And so I put it together what it was the first time I saw a scar, post the conversation about...
Well, it's on his leg, yeah.
And it turns out Pedro's character has had leg lengthening.
6 inches added to his leg, we hasten to add.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, I've watched a documentary.
Other parts of his... I know, wild. You couldn't do that in one operation.
8 months it takes for that situation to be done.
Oh my God.
So you literally have to leave your life behind. They don't do it in Australia. It's like you have to go overseas to get it done. I don't know if they're doing it in Turkey, probably. And they have to, it's just a series of breaking your legs and re-breaking them and inserting a rod and slowly stretching it out.
That is unbelievable.
So the bones knit around the rod. And so you just keep re-breaking the joints.
Oh my God.
Then you have to literally learn to walk again. Because you can't, it's all been changed. Your natural skeleton has all been changed. You have to learn to walk again. There's a chance that your body rejects the surgery. And the thing that I watched, and like the guy only ended up getting about 4 inches of height.
That is still huge.
But Pedro, it was, for me, because I've watched the documentary on it, and this guy's like a capitalist billionaire, Pedro's character, I don't understand how because him and his brother got it done, how they would have taken almost a year out of their lives to go and enhance their height by 6 inches.
Well,
anyway.
My brother works in finance and he does a lot of it remotely.
Oh. So we find this out. Dakota and Pedro have this conversation late at night, and he
owns up to it.
Yep.
Confesses.
And then she wants to know what the height difference would have been. And he then proceeds to very slowly squat down to just below Dakota's height. And then there's a wide two-shot.
Yeah.
where he looks like a T-Rex.
Yeah, but see, here, again, I actually think that the intention was for that to – I think you responded in the way the filmmakers
Oh, it was meant to
intended.
give us the ick.
Yeah. No, I think it was meant to make people laugh. Like because he was doing it with a smile on his face.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think so, but I think everyone else was in the audience thinking, is this a real thing?
Oh,
Is
so
this-
I laughed at the right time.
I feel like you did.
Not often I do.
You know, I feel like you kind of got – well, you were laughing with a sort of energy of I can't believe what I'm watching. There was that there. I could hear that. But I do actually feel like the intention in that moment was for the tension of that sequence leading up to be broken by him doing that and for us to feel like it was a bit of self-awareness and maybe charm. But I think the overall vibe in the room was people were so disturbed thinking, is this a real thing you can do? And wanting to Google but not being able to
Well,
because
I
they're in
can
the
send
cinema.
everybody the documentary to watch of this man who did it in England.
Put it on the what Em's watched at 2 a.m. when she can't sleep because if you dare to venture there.
I think overall with this movie, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's going to see it. It's been so long since someone's proclaimed, I'm making a rom-com too. So we're starved for it.
And even though, again, I wouldn't say it's a true rom-com. For me, actually, I figured, full confession, I heard on a podcast someone say, there's a filmmaker, Mike Nichols, that made films like The Graduate, and he made the film Closer with Natalie Portman and everything. It feels like it's more in that. I mean, it sort of evokes Sex and the City and When Harry Met Sally and things like that, but actually the tone of it feels closer to that sort of thing. So a romantic drama with occasional
Unintentional laughs.
Well, that's what I'm saying possibly intentional, some of it. But I feel like it's more in that vibe. But it is interesting because it is doing really well, particularly in Australia. And this and also Baby Girl last year makes me realise there is an audience out there that just they do not want to go see a superhero movie or a kid's cartoon.
No.
They want to see something. They want to see stars they like.
Yes.
In a drama with some sort of relationships
Romance.
explored. Yeah.
And I don't know why that's such a shock to people. Because romance and fantasy novels are doing, they're doing big business.
Yeah.
And any Netflix show that's got some sexy, element to it is being watched.
I think I think what people find shocking about it is I think that they felt like the recent classics have been streaming. So when you think of Normal People, when you think of Fleabag, for me, they're probably the greatest romances of the past decade, and they were on our television. So I think people got used to this idea of, but they won't pay to go to the movies to see it because you get it at home. You don't need that big screen. But actually, people will go out for it.
Yeah, look, especially if it's Pedro. Oh, I still love you, Pedro. So all in all, yeah.
Join the conversation.
I think it's something that you're right. It's not an Avenger. It's not a Gladiator. It's not Pixar making you question all that you hold dear.
I'm glad that it's doing well. I really am because I just want more things like this to be able to go and watch.
And your mother's review was, what did I just watch? That was her review. And then she said to me, I kept hearing you laugh. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. Because I was laughing at bits I should not laugh at. But all in all, yes.
Yes.
It happened. Thank you. We're losing a member of the team today. We have to say a sad goodbye to the Gap.
Oh, God. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Goodbye, my lover. My pirate Gap is finally leaving the building.
This has been a long saga.
It has gone on for an age. It happened pre-pandemic. That's when I first had the issue with that tooth. And I have dragged it out for years and years. I had a metal screw just languishing in my gum for years.
I would say that in the grand tradition of those who do have sensory issues, you probably haven't been that forthcoming going to the dentist.
No.
No. And in fact, some might say held off until it became an actual full-blown crisis.
I'm a dentist slut. I never go back to the same one.
Oh.
I refuse. I
don't know that that's a strategy that's going to yield the dividends that you're seeking there.
Absolutely not. But I ghost them.
Yeah.
I will go. They'll tell me all the things that need to be done. I'll make the appointment to go back and do it. I don't show up. I do not. I'm a dentist fuckboy.
I went through a similar. I wasn't a dentist slut. I abstained. I moved out of home and I used to just go to the family dentist. So essentially I was, out certainly all through my 20s. And I never went to a dentist until about 33. So I went like a decade and a half no dentist, and let's just say paid a price. Financial, physical pain. Like, it was wild. I had to get multiple root canals, multiple fillings. I had to wear Invisalign for years to reshape the jaw. I would have spent tens of thousands of dollars and endured so much physical pain. So go to the dentist.
No, for sure. But mine stems from when I was about 5 or 6, I have thick ridges in my teeth, which apparently is a Mediterranean thing, which means you're more susceptible to getting holes and food stuck in there. So when I was a kid, for reasons unknown, my parents put me in hospital and didn't really explain what's happening, but I woke up with a mouthful of metal fillings to make sure my teeth weren't like disintegrating. But I remember the amount of pain in my jaw, and I could eat jelly and ice cream, but it was just peak 80s parenting. Didn't tell me what was happening, didn't really talk about it after. My mouth was on fire, and then ever since then, any dental trip for me was like, I would have full-blown panic attacks, shut down, passed out once as a kid. So that's where it stems from. And then, yes, I put it off. I remember being at work and the tooth just fell out. Fucking fell out. And then I tried to I went to a dentist around here, and they used some glue to stick it in between the two teeth, and that was like a piece of stale popcorn. Yeah. The second I bit into a salada, it just popped out again. So I went and I got the screw put in, but that was excruciating, and I never went back. And so then I went, when I had all the dental surgery recently for my wisdom teeth, they had to put a new cap on it because it had been in there it was like the fucking Titanic. Like it had sunk in there and it was all rusted and gross. So they had to kind of resurrect the screw.
It's been 85 years.
Yeah, they're foraging around for the necklace with the big blue heart on it.
So, well, you open your mouth and an old woman comes and just tosses a diamond in it.
Yeah. Jack and Rose are on the back of my tongue, just dying in there amongst the decay. So, yes, it's been a long, drawn-out process. And even these dentists, I nearly didn't go back because I had a bad experience with them where I was in excruciating pain. I went in and the dentist gave me a lecture about leaving it for too long. And so I left and I wrote them the most savage email. But I stuck with them and I'm going back. So today's the day I'm having my very precious, Jesus Christ, this is the world's most expensive tooth.
Mm-hmm. They are not cheap.
What do they make it out of, like Ming Dynasty China?
Oh, probably.
Fucking hell. If I look in there, there are going to be tiny little blue eggs drawn on there. It's like a Fabergé egg in my mouth. So that goes in. Then I've got to have a little cap done on another tooth that cracked. And then I'm having a little whitening sesh.
Yeah. I mean, I really would consider.
Who is she?
I just book in for a clean and a checkup every 6 months. It's just in the diary. I just do it. It's just you got to. I mean, I was quite the opposite, as I've explained, but I've accepted defeat.
Oh, now once I get stable, because
they'll say to you, preserve your investment, and they mean investment because you have spent the coin.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I could name this corner of my mouth after that dentist that I'm going to. I'm sure his children are going through another 4 years of private school thanks to this one tooth. So it's happening. I'm very excited for my new smile. Because I have been doing the Ariana Grande only shoot me from the right side of my face.
Also Barbara. I don't know which side, but I know she has one preferred side.
Mariah has a preferred side too.
Oh, of course. In the grand tradition of divas.
The grand tradition of divas. So, goodbye, my lover. Yeah, it's good. You'll notice I won't be doing this as much when I smile.
Oh, you won't be doing the Princess Di.
That's exactly who I am.
Yeah, you'll be doing the full. I can't think who is the big smiler. Julia Roberts. You'll be Julia-ing it.
I will. You know who else? We got to go because in Silt Section I want to get into the DCC. I've been watching the season 2 of Dallas Cowgirls Cheerleaders and oh my God, those women are back with a vengeance. Okay. But you can tell they've watched themselves on season 1, so they're trying to make...
that always happens.
Oh, well, they crack under the pressure.
Did you do that with Idol? Having watched, not that you were in it yourself, but you'd seen season 1 play out. How much did that inform the way you navigated that situation? None. Did
you see me on Idol? I was fucking unhinged.
Yeah.
I wish I was more calculating. I wish I had the season 2 glow up. Oh, no, I went in like an unedited, savage nerve ending. Oh, my God. I had no idea. I think about the shit that went on in Idol because that was before really, you had to look after reality TV.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And the stuff that was going on, which is what happened now. This would
Yeah.
not happen now.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not happen. No. I wish I had have pre-gamed for season 2.
But Dallas Cowboys, they have.
Oh, yeah. That's what we've been talking about in the sealed section. Also, my live shows are kicking off in a week and a half. I'm very excited. Can't wait to see all your shining faces. We have inserted a song for Michael Lucas to sing.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
This is literally, I have not heard this. What?
Like a prayer.
For me to sing?
Yeah, you can get up and have a little sing-song. Why not? Fun. But before we go into sealed
also,
section,
can I horse something?
Yeah.
This is painful. Logies voting's open.
Talk about that,
Logies.
What do you mean you're nominated? I missed this.
The newsreader's nominated.
Is your name said out loud?
No, but I get it. That's why do you think I've got the Logie in the house that I hide from sight? That's true. But
talk about the Logies. Do it.
Logies 2025. Look, many friends of the pod nominated, and by many I mean that we've got Poe.
Yep.
Who's nominated for the gold. Julia Morris nominated for the gold. Hamish Blake saying he thinks the woman should win, but not. Yeah, anyway, sure. But in the best drama category, it's weird these days because it's now, that used to be that they had most popular and most outstanding. They've mushed everything together in best, and it's all very obscure how it works. But anyway, the newsreader is up for best drama, and also other friend of the pod, Michelle M. Davidson, is up for best supporting actress against Mark Downey, also up for best supporting actress.
Can we talk
Splitting
about
the vote.
Sam and Anna not being nominated?
Yeah, well, Anna is nominated, but for territory. Not for weirdly, also in the past, it used to be that if you were in multiple shows, you got like both your credits. Like when Asha was up for Offspring and Party Trick, she had both. For some reason now, apparently Anna is only nominated for territory and definitely not for the newsreader.
I am disgusted.
Well, they do. It's funny now.
How can she know? That season.
I know.
It was your last season,
Look,
but spectacular.
No. But I think what happens is because there's a weird formulation that they do now, where it's a little cabal. They don't say who it is that chooses the nominations. They're not publicly chosen, and also they take into consideration viewership. Like, so all the networks and streamers have to provide stats of how many people watch it, and of course, no one can compete with Netflix because it's global. Like the ABC can't. Like
that feels
wrong.
Yes.
I know. Yes. Look, questions are being asked. That's why there is
Are
always.
you suggesting the Logies?
There are. Well, I understand why they had to
Go back to coupons.
No, the reason why they intervened and changed it was because we ended up in this era where you had like Tom Gleeson doing, I want to take the piss out of it, vote for me, and he was getting it every single time. And so they thought, well, we need to put some controls in. So we'll do a formulation where we get like a panel of experts that judge the artistic merits, and then we'll take in the ratings data. But it does seem to have ended up in a thing where all the nominations are Netflix. But I mean, no, I feel look, we've got 3 and it's great, and we're gonna have a great time. And also,
is it back in Sydney or still on the GC?
No, it's back in Sydney.
Oh, thank God.
I
know you love it. You're a
love it. I
GC
love
slut.
And also in Sydney, it's in the.
Every time Michael goes to the Gold Coast, which is
Love
often,
it. Love it.
I'll get a text. I could live
Love it.
here.
I could live here.
Love
I
it.
could
I
live
could live
here.
here. Love a chocky. Love the Gold Coast.
Love a chocky. Love a chocky on the Gold Coast.
Love a chocky on the Gold Coast. Make it a T-shirt.
Also in Sydney, it's in the Star Casino.
Yeah.
And there's that sort of. It's in like. The after party's always in a nightclub. It feels like it's a nightclub I would have drifted into for half an hour
Like
when I was
Heat.
18. Yeah, it's got that vibe
Heat.
about it. Yeah. Whereas it used to, on the Gold Coast there were multiple after parties that were popping up. We've
Fucking loves the GC.
love it.
Love it.
You don't mind it.
I love it.
Yeah.
My parents just got back from there.
Oh really?
I know. They spent the week. I'm hoping this little foundation, they buy a little place up there and me and you can go there.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'm going to be laying those foundations with Vincey. Oh, did you like it? Maybe you should buy a little place up there, a little apartment on the GC. They can afford it. All right, let's move into sealed section. Bye, everyone.
Emsolation with M. Rossiano is recorded at Down the Hill Studios. Hosted by M. Rossiano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by M. Rossiano. Edited by Ezekiel Fan with videos by James Henderson. Socials by Benjamin Wasley, M. Rossiano and Marcella Rossiano Barrow with assistance from Jim Evans and Isabella Hines. You'll find links to get more Emsolation on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. And thanks for listening. We can't wait to chat with you again soon.